and welcome to Quirky Books with Katie. Today I'm going to be doing the top 5 books so far and anticipating books for 2013 tag. Now, I believe this video was created by Manderson XOXO. I'm not sure. If not, then I apologize. And I was tagged to do this by Lost Book Spots, and I thought this video sounded really fun, so I decided to do it. Now, the first part of this tag is you talk about your 5 favorite books that you've read so far this year. Now, for me, I haven't had like an absolute favorite that I'm just like, oh, this is my favorite book of 2013. But I had probably like a top 10, so I tried to pick from there. First, we have Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. This book was amazing. It's a high fantasy set in Russia, badass main character. And yeah, Shadow and Bone is just amazing. Everyone should go read it. And I ship Maul and Alina so much. And the freaking Darkling, everyone likes him, and I don't. I just thought this was really enjoyable. It hooked me from the beginning, start to finish, and the second book is out, and I haven't read it yet, and I don't know why. Well, next, we have the book that's been spreading like wildfire around the BookTube community recently, and that is The Darkest Minds by Alexandra Bracken. This is a type of fantasy, dystopian, post-apocalyptic book about kids, and when kids turn 10, you either die or you develop special powers, and you're sent off into concentration camps, and you're divided kind of by color based on your ability. Now, at the beginning of this book, I was like, this is interesting. It's I wasn't impressed, and then by the middle, once the gang shows up, oh my god, it gets so good. There's so much action, and romance is so cute. And my favorite thing about this book is definitely the cast of characters. There's some amazing characters in this group, like Liam and Zoo and Chubbs. And then the ending of this book. Why do authors like to torture us with cliffhanger endings? Most importantly, why do we do this to ourselves? But Never Fade comes out October 15th, I believe. I'm so excited. Next, we have The Day Before by Lisa Schroeder. I've talked about this book a lot, and this is just a contemporary told entirely in verse, and it's just such a beautiful story. It's about 2 people who are trying to escape the future, and they kind of spend a day together, and they actually manage to fall in love over the course of the day, and you don't feel like it's rushed. How often does that happen? Sometimes, like, there's characters, and they know each other for, like, years, and you're still like, that romance is rushed. Course of the day, and it's still not rushed. This book is just gorgeous and amazing, and I loved it. The next one will be no surprise if you know me, but that is Requiem by Lauren Oliver. This is the final book in the Delirium trilogy, which is one of my all-time favorite series. I loved it so much. Now, I know a lot of people didn't like this book because the ending it's very open-ended. It's an open-ended ending. It doesn't spell it out for you what happens. I still loved it. That Elena basically has to make a choice between Alex and Julian, Team Alex all the way, and everything kind of comes to a head in this book, and I actually liked the ending. I thought it was really good. It shows you that in real life, you don't always get an ending tied up in a little bow. And I would highly recommend the Delirium trilogy. I love it so much. It's so close to my heart, and I adore it. And finally, we have another cult favorite, and that is Clockwork Princess by Cassandra Clare. This series is just amazing. It rivals The Mortal Instruments, if a series can ever even do that. And this book just tied everything together so perfectly. And that epilogue. If you guys have read it, you know what I'm talking about. This was probably the most emotionally damaging epilogue in the history of epilogues. It's only 30 pages long, and you are sobbing the entire way through. And it still wraps it up together perfectly. Tessa makes her choice, but it's not in the way that you think. And I loved that about Cassandra Clare. She gives you the ending that you wanted, and you didn't even know you wanted. The second part of this video is talking about books that you're really excited for that are coming out this year. Now, I already made a video about this, but I can always talk about these books more. It's not a problem. So first is House of Hades by Rick Riordan. This is the 4th book in the Heroes of Olympus series. Anyone that's read the series knows that Mark of Athena left off on a literal cliffhanger. And we need to know what happens to Percabeth, okay? Like, no one is okay in the fandom right now. It's just, we need to know. We need to know what happens. I love this series so much. Percy Jackson's one of my favorites. And next we have Allegiant by Veronica Roth. This is the final book in the Divergent series, October 22nd. Oh my god, I'm so excited for this. Because Insurgent came out like last May. That is not okay. And then there's some people that have just recently read the series and they're like, oh, I can't wait until October. I'm like, guys, I read Insurgent back in May. You don't know what you're talking about. But the end of Insurgent was a great cliffhanger, and I'm really excited to see how Veronica Roth kind of ends the series and what exactly is going on with the society, because I have no clue. Next, we have Never Fade by Alexandra Bracken. It is the second book in the Darkest Minds series, which I talked about already. So excited because The Darkest Minds left off on that awful cliffhanger, and I already got to read the first chapter of the next book, and that ends on a cliffhanger too, which is, we need to see what happened to Liam and to Ruby, and are they going to find their way back to each other, and just what happened to Zoo and to Chubbs? We need to know. The fandom needs to know. Is there a fandom? If so, what's the fandom's name? I don't know. It's an interesting question. And next we have Untold by Sarah Rees Brennan. This is the second book in the Unspoken series. I think that's what it's called. And Unspoken is such an amazing book. It's one of my favorites. Another book that leaves on an emotionally damaging cliffhanger. And the good and bad thing about this author is she likes to release a little snippet from the book each month, and they're all equally emotionally damaging. I just need to sit down, read this book, lock myself in my room for the weekend, and just like fangirl really hard, because I'm just gonna freak out when this book comes out. I don't even know if I'm like ready, which is good because it doesn't come out till September 24th, but I need to like emotionally prepare myself for that. Final book is the book that is my number one that I'm most anticipating, and that is Champion by Marie Lu. This is the third book in the Legend series. I adore this series. It's one of my all-time favorites. Prodigy, again, left off on an emotionally damaging cliffhanger. Are you guys sensing a theme for this video? Like emotionally damaging cliffhanger endings? But I mean, I love this series so much, and I care about the two main characters, Day and June, so much, and I ship them so hard. Everyone's just like, oh, Andon, I think Andon should end up with June. I'm like, no, I do not trust Andon at all. If something happens with him, then I'm probably going to laugh. I don't like Tess much either right now. But yeah, Day and June just need to end up together, but I honestly think that someone's going to die in Champion, because Marie Lu said someone is going to be the champion, because Day was the legend, June was the prodigy, so who is going to be the champion? I don't know. But I don't know. If one of the main characters dies, though, I'm just going to be distraught. I won't know what to do with myself. So now it's time to tag people. I don't know if they've already been tagged, but I'm going to tag Nerdybooklover and Twofabsisters to do this video if they want to. So let me know what books you've loved this year and what books you're anticipating for this year. And thank you guys for watching. Be sure to subscribe to my channel, and I will talk to you again soon.